Hi everybody, happy Monday! It's another great Modify Monday for the MAUDCAST. So excited about my amazing guest today. He's here. Hi Ben. I'm gonna let some people join. So if this is your first time tuning in, this is the MAUDCAST. This happens every Monday. And I interview an amazing person and we talk about joy. All we talk about is joy. This is a happy conversation. So if you need some happiness or joy in your life, I'm going to need you to tune in and stay and listen to all the greatness that you're about to experience with the one and only Ben Williams, who, by the way, produced the modified theme song. I'm going to request him in so we can get this combo started. Hey. All right. I don't see you, Ben. There you are. Let me see. It's weird. I'm trying to find you to pull you in. Hi, Leah. Hi, Timothy. Ben. Oh, there you are. Ben. Yay, you're here, and you get to hear your song in action. Hey, Ben Williams.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I know you
Feeling
like
good.
the song.
Oh yeah. We could just jam. Look, we could just stand here and just rock to this.
You know, I'm gonna turn it down. I'm gonna turn her down. Everybody, this is the one and only Ben Williams. Welcome to the 11th episode of the MAUDCAST. Before we get started, Ben, I need to tell everybody a little bit about how incredible you are. So everybody, first of all, Ben Williams and I have been friends since 2000. Wow, that's 20 years.
Yeah, at least. Yes. Whoa.
Wow.
The years fly by.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Still look good though.
But we look the same.
Yeah.
So in those 20 years, so let me tell y'all, Ben and I are from DC. We went to an amazing high school performing arts called Duke Ellington School of Performing Arts in DC. It's a DC public school, but it was to help cultivate young, talented individuals, I guess like ourselves, Ben. And when I met Ben, he was already like winning tons of awards, had already traveled across the world playing bass. Ben is an incredible bass player, but he's also a composer, a producer, and a singer and a writer. He also is a Grammy Award winner. He is putting in his Grammy bid right now for this year for his own album, which we're going to talk about. Ben got his master's at Juilliard. By the way, Ben, I know all this off the top of my head. Ben got his
You're doing
master's
good.
at Juilliard.
I don't need a bio anymore. I'm just giving you your number.
Just give them my phone number.
Yeah.
And everybody, and we're going to talk more about this, but Ben also makes music that is not only awesome to listen to, but also has a message. And I think that is very important, particularly in today's society. And Ben's favorite person is Prince. So that's why
I see the T-shirt. I saw. Yeah.
I wore that.
Hey.
I wear that for you. I've been trying to be on theme for my guests.
I got my man right behind me.
Right. See, we're together here.
And the album cover over there.
So I have the Purple Rain album downstairs. So I'm actually in my friend Faith's apartment right now. You know Faith.
Mm-hmm.
She came to see you perform. We came to see you at the Jazz Standard. Everybody, Ben has played with everybody and their mama. If you look up to them in the jazz world, they know Ben Williams, they admire Ben Williams, and they have hired Ben Williams. He's traveled to dozens of countries, performing, teaching, all the amazing stuff. So Ben, how are you today on this magnificent Monday?
I'm doing good. You know, Monday doesn't really mean anything these days,
right?
But I'm doing good. All things considered, I've been busy. Been working on, I'm always working on something. So
what
yeah, I got.
Can you tell us what you're working on?
I can tell you really about one and not quite yet about the other. But
Okay, tell us about one.
yeah. So some new music. I've
Uh-huh.
been definitely in the lab. This is kind of the lab right here. Um, so being home like was a good thing for me, because I'm always,
You're
me,
always on
I'm
tour.
always on the road, always touring, and I just never really got to live in my own apartment, and it didn't really feel like it. So what I'm saying, I just got a chance to like settle in my space. Like I'm gonna be honest, like the first 2 months of this shutdown, easily the first 2 months, I just like kind of did nothing.
Like,
I know everybody was just like, um, I mean, I would say nothing, but compared to like, I know me, I was like, it was nothing. It
were you
was,
playing music and stuff, or were you like
um,
just like chilling?
I was just chilling. I wasn't even like playing that much music.
Wow.
It was weird. I was just like completely exhausted. I just came off a tour as well. I was out with Kamasi Washington for a month,
Amazing.
right before everything shut down, and so we left that tour and came home, and like that was the weekend. They just pulled the plug on us,
It's a
and
y'all were lucky to be able to finish your tour.
yeah, I mean we like just barely finished it. So so I was ready to get some rest. I was that tour was
I feel
like
like it's
most tours were.
residual tired. You've been
Yeah, and then
touring for
just
like 15
like
years.
fifth, yeah, exactly, and that's what it really was. It was like just kind of really not taking a real break
Mm-hmm.
since I really started, and I was like, I didn't even want to like be playing my instrument all day. I just needed like to just first like do nothing, and then just kind of just be a person, just kind
I
of, you
Well, do
know.
you feel like because you kind of were able to take that pause to just like be yourself and be in your home and be just like a normal human being, not this virtuosic musician, do you feel like because you stepped away that now coming back into it, that it's more joyful, that you're finding the joy in different ways from it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think just in general, like I'm just more appreciative of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even music. Something that like there's just things you just always assume are going to be there,
Yeah.
and we just found out like that's not the case at all. They can all get taken away, and
Like
all
that.
like that, and that's it just like that. Nobody could have imagined this, but
Never.
you know, this is crazy.
Never. But I mean, I
But
also probably would not have finally started the podcast had we not been sitting in place because you know how, I mean, it's like, as much as people think it's just like, well, that's easy. You just sit in front of a live and you talk. Like, I, even though we've been friends for 20 years, I have notes, okay? I took notes about what I wanted to talk about. I was preparing for my
right,
interviews and I wanted to be good. And so
right,
I don't think that I would have had like the mental space or time to figure it out had we just been like going, 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 going.
yeah. You know, I mean, I
Yeah.
always say like sometimes, not like sometimes I feel like busy is overrated.
Because
Just
sometimes
being,
you're busy and you're not
you're not really
productive
moving.
and you're not feeding
You're not
yourself.
moving. Yeah, you're not really moving forward. You just like it's like an exercise bike. You
It's
moving and you working and you
it's
swaying,
a
but you're not
hamster
going
on a
anywhere
what are those,
on
the
that wheel.
hamster wheels? It's a
Yeah.
hamster wheel. Oh, Ben, one of my students, Leah, wants to know where she can find your music. Hi, Steve.
Um. Yeah. So my music is pretty much anywhere and everywhere you can find music. So you can stream it on any of the platforms. Tidal, which is my favorite. Um, it's artist owned. Um,
Hello.
Apple Music, Spotify, Bandcamp. You can buy it on Bandcamp, which they're
Okay.
great. They're very very artist friendly. So all you
I
guys
have a,
should
I have a question
check.
for you, Ben. As a consumer of music, and you're a musician, and I'm telling you, everybody who's listening, you have to buy his music. Like, I don't know if you'll understand when I said everybody you love, like, oh, Herbie Hancock, Also, forgot this part of your bio is that you won the Monk Award many moons ago.
Yeah, yes, I know, right? Yeah,
Which,
2009, I won the Thelonious Monk competition.
but that's huge. I mean, like when I saw it's like Sting is there and Herbie Hancock, and it's like I was like, oh, this is international. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, of course, Ben isn't just doing like a little competition. It's like this huge
It's
competition. But as a consumer, what is the best way to support musicians so that they can earn money? Is it watching your video on Instagram? Is it sharing it? Is it buying the music on Apple, or is it buying it on Tidal? Like, how do we make sure that the artist is getting as much money as they can?
okay. That's a great question, and I'm so glad you asked me that.
Because
And
I had no idea.
yeah, and you know what? And most people don't. And they think it's all just kind of the same. They're listening to your music, like they figure like, okay, this has to be somehow like, making money for the people who created it. But I mean, streaming is, it's really like it's like fractions of a penny like that you get per stream. So, I mean, even like a hit song, like a big hit song of the year, is going to generate probably like, I don't know, like $20,000 or something like that, or maybe more than that. But it's like you won't get rich from like making music from streaming. It's just the
Okay.
rates are that low. So I would
Wow.
say the best way, um, if an artist is selling, if they have a like, if they sell the music themselves,
Mm-hmm.
you can always just order it like directly from the artist. Like most, especially independent artists, they're fairly easy to reach.
Do you sell
And
your music independently? Well, I know you
so
sell records.
yeah. So I mean, for us, we sell a lot of music at shows, because we're always on the road. And
Right. So without that,
so as far as like hard copies,
mm-hmm.
because I do like vinyl and CDs. So people love vinyl too because it's like it's cool again,
It's cool.
and
It does
it's
sound
big.
different.
Yeah, and it sound. I mean, and this album is made for vinyl because it just got that vibe.
It's got
But
that vibe. It's got that
yeah,
crispiness. That
yes,
vinyl crisp.
yeah, like in Mama's basement.
Okay,
You
gotcha,
know
gotcha.
that
Don't
that
let the
that
needle stick. Okay, okay.
right.
I feel
You
you.
know what I'm
I
saying?
feel you.
So yeah, if you can buy it directly from like an artist website, or if they're on an independent label, the label website, because they kind of have, most like independent labels, they have like kind of their own supply of the music. So if you buy it directly from them, it goes directly to them.
You want to feel real
Um,
old then? My
yeah.
student who asked that wonderful question where she could buy or get your music, she said vinyl question mark. All right, Leah, vinyl. Then can you
But
explain
like
what vinyl is? And I will spell. This is how you
that's
spell vinyl.
I'm actually
Can you
I
show
got
her?
I got one right here.
Let's do a lesson for the babies,
This
for the
is like
youngins.
so this is what old people used to listen to music on. What's her name?
Leah. Her name is
Leah.
Leah.
Leah. See, people. I don't know if I can demonstrate. So it kind of you put it on this thing that spins. You've probably seen this before. Put it on this thing and it spins, and there's a little needle that drops on top of it as it's spinning, and the music plays from the needle spinning on it. There
And
you
it
go.
sounds what how would you say it
It's made out
compares
of
to,
vinyl.
let's say,
It's
how does it sound compared to like playing playing your Apple Music or your Tidal?
well, it's like it's warm. It's hard to describe. You just have to hear
Mm.
it for yourself. It's
She said that's big.
yes, it's much bigger than an MP3.
So Leah, back in the day, before they had MP3 and like DJs would have a computer to put all their music on, DJs would carry hundreds of those to a
Yes,
party to
right.
DJ. That's where like when you're like,
Hmm.
that's a record. That's what they're scratching. Hey, we got Senegal in the house. Bonjour. So you like, that's a record. So Ben, I asked all my guests, what is your favorite non-alcoholic beverage? Because this is the MAUDCAST, the real happy hour, meaning we don't need to
Okay.
drink alcohol to be happy. So what is your favorite non-alcoholic beverage?
I would say sparkling water.
Sparkling water, darling. Do you like to put
Yes.
lime or lemon in there, or
Of
you just
course
like
with
it
lime.
plain?
Of course with the lime. That's just assumed.
It's amazing, Ben. So, my question, okay, since you composed the Modify theme song, which by the way, guys, Ben is such an amazing friend. I'm like, Ben, can you make me a song? Now, friends, I don't know if you guys know how I have a lot of audacity to ask Ben that kind of music song because one, Ben is one of the most sought after musicians in the world. This is what he does for a living. He gets paid. He knows that when I ask, I have no money to pay him to do it. And he's busy. So Ben, being the incredible person he is, he made me my theme song for my birthday. We're going to play it. And then can you tell me how did this come to such awesomeness? Okay, we're just going to listen for a
Okay.
moment. All right, here we go. Let me get my music. So funky.
Mm. Hey.
I mean, it's so good. So, what was the process? How long did it take you? How do you do that?
Um, that probably took me like a couple hours.
Oh, I said,
Um,
oh, just show off. Just show
yeah.
off. Okay.
I mean, I think I remember you. If you're making a theme song for something, you gotta just imagine what it's for or who it's for, and like, I just wanted something like that was just funky. It felt good, and it had your name in it.
I love
So
it. And that's Ben singing also,
yeah,
guys.
that's me singing on that. Yeah.
I
So
love it. When you sent it
I
to me,
just
I was
yeah.
like, this is perfection. And then when I started the Modcast, I was like, because also, guys, Ben made another theme for the Modcast. I was like, I'm making this podcast, but I think that the Modcast theme song is actually better for if there's no visual. I don't know why,
Mm,
but in my brain, I imagine that being like the opening of something when I do it when you don't see us. But
right.
because you see us, this makes you just want to like
Right. And that's what it's all
everybody
about.
that
That's
hears it. It's like funky. And y'all, Ben is so funky. The way he plays his bass, it's like he's dancing. He's
oh
not just
yeah.
like this, doop, 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 doop. He's like in that thing. It's a full body, like,
Oh yeah, I'm dancing
experience when you
too.
see Ben.
I'm dancing. I'm dancing for a lot. Sometimes I just look down at myself. I'm like, wow, there's a lot going on down
And so, Ben, can you talk about what is the different feel for you and how do you make the choice to whether you play upright or when you play electric?
there. To me, it just the song. Most of the times the style kind of calls for it, like because they're two very different sounding instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one is like a little bit like just bigger and like heavier. Um, like the electric bass just kind of like feels different,
I
and
love
the
that.
upright bass is more like it's like Mother Earth, like the wood, like it literally is. I'm playing. It's a giant piece of wood that's like it's changing. It's a living that it's changing as it's getting older
Right,
and
because
it's
it'll
aging.
expand and
Yeah, yeah, like the weather changes it, so like and it sounds like the tone changes as it gets older. It's like they're like living, they're like people.
it's as big
Um,
as a person.
yeah, definitely. Like carrying around another person. Um, yeah, so I just kind of the song usually
Mm-hmm.
just tells me always just listen to the music and let the music tell me what it needs.
Oh, I like that. You let the music tell you what it needs. So
Hmm.
my question is, so another question I have is when, let's say you're not feeling so joyful and you need to find that joy. How do you do that? Is it you playing a song, like pressing play? Is it you playing a song? Like, how do you find joy in moments that it's not there?
Um, you know, I think sometimes, and this might sound just a little like esoteric, but sometimes you just have to wait, you
Tell
know?
us more.
So, like, just, I mean, everything, if you think about everything that you've been through in life,
Mm-hmm.
you've survived every single 100% of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're going through something, just know that it's just one of those things that you're going through. That's why you
Mm-hmm.
say you're going through something. So when you're going through something, it means you're moving, so you're not going to be in that thing forever.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like when you flying on a plane and, you know, you hit some weather, some bad weather, and it gets a little bumpy. But eventually there's you're gonna get through it. You're gonna get past it. So
I'd be scared as a mug.
I know. But sometimes like the only thing you gotta tell yourself is like this is gonna be over soon.
Yes,
So and that's like, you know, that's how you gotta be in life sometimes. That you
I
just gotta
love
remind
that.
yourself that, this is not gonna last forever.
So you just your eye is on the prize of the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, because it's there. It's pretty much always there.
I love
Just
that.
gotta.
And I just want to make the distinction for everybody listening, because we have a lot of young people on here too, is that Ben, I don't think what you're saying, he's not wallowing in the not joy. He's like,
No.
I know this is passing.
Yeah, and the note, and knowing that it is going to come to an end, it's going to give you just a little. That's good news. It's going to make you
Mm-hmm.
feel better about it, and just kind of, you know, it's like, all right, this is just what it is right now. I'm gonna just, dance in the rain.
Dance in the rain.
You know
Purple
what I'm
rain.
saying? The purple
Dance in the
rain.
purple rain.
Just that.
And so, but what artists that you could listen to, like, and you just know they make you happy?
um, Artists
You
that
can
make me
list a few, because I
happy.
know that that's a lot.
Um, I would say artists that make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie Wonder makes me happy.
Ooh. Like what? Like give me some songs, because I also I'm like creating a playlist of like when I want to. So then I know, like, oh, I know what band wants to hear.
Okay. um, like some Stevie Wonder songs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, like Do I Do. I feel like,
Oh my
when I
gosh.
see you on the street, I
Uh-huh.
hope I, yes. That's
That
like,
thing.
that just makes you want to just instantly just barbecue and dance and,
And it kind of makes you want to fall in love.
and fall in love. Like, like Stevie music just make you like just feel a whole event. Like he could just paint a whole picture, a
Have
whole
you played with
scenario.
Stevie Wonder yet?
I got to jam with him one time, actually.
Tell us
It
about
was
it. And
at
then you already know I'm
yeah.
gonna ask you to tell us about when you jammed with Prince. So Stevie first. What happened with
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder?
Okay, so I was playing at this festival in Jakarta, Indonesia. It's called
Hold on, run that back, guys. I just wanted to say Ben and I are from Washington, D.C., from an inner city. It was the murder capital of the world while we were growing up. And where were you?
Mhm. I was in Jakarta, Indonesia,
Amazing.
on the other side of the world, and I was playing. It's called the Java Jazz Fest. It's a
Mm-hmm.
huge jazz festival, and they have a lot of big name artists. And usually, those festivals they put all the artists in the same hotel, and a lot of times in the hotel they'll have like a jam session. Like a lot of local musicians, they'll host. They'll have like a jam session at the hotel,
Ooh.
or someplace. A lot of times in the hotel, so it's convenient for the musicians to just kind of hang out. Because we always like to hang out after we play and drink
Oh, jazz
and
musicians love a
right.
hang. So do tap
You know what I'm
dancers.
saying? And a lot of times these festivals, because we always travel so much, a lot of times this is when we see everybody. It's when we run into like
Facts.
our friends. And so yeah, you just imagine like it's just a big hang. So I remember after one of the after, no, after the show that we did for the festival, we came back to the hotel. And I went down to the jam session at first, and it was like it wasn't really popping. It was kind of light. So
It
I
was
just
too
went back.
early. It
It
was
was
too
too
early.
early. It was too
Uh,
early. It wasn't popping yet. So I went back up to my room, and I was like, maybe I'm gonna try to get some sleep tonight. So, but of course I couldn't. Jet lag, just have you all twist and turn. So I just eventually I went back downstairs, and it was popping. It was like full of people, and I was like, oh damn, this okay, it changed. And then my boy Maurice Brown,
I know Maurice.
Yeah, he plays trumpet with us.
He's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, amazing trumpet player. He was like, "Yo, you want to come play on the next song?" We're trying to put a little band together for the jam session. I was like, "Yeah." So he pulled the band together with me, Frank McComb, the late great George Duke,
Mm,
um, this drummer named David Haynes, and there was like a guy on percussion. I remember. So we started playing the Stevie Wonder song, "Where Were You When I Needed You."
uh-huh.
Like, where were you when I need? Yeah. Um, so I had never played that song actually, but I heard it enough times that I could figure it out.
That's
So
genius talk. That's genius talk, by the way. I heard it a few times. I knew I could play it.
you know,
I love it. I'm here for it.
um,
I love it.
yeah. I've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah,
Um,
just a little bit.
so Frank McComb, he's on the mic and he's like, kind of
Oh, hold
sounds like
on.
he's a.
Sorry, Ben. Sorry to interrupt. My mother is here, who you know is your number
Oh,
one
hey,
fan.
Miss Arnold,
Mom, Ben is
Mom
telling us
Arnold.
about when he got to jam with Stevie Wonder. Okay, so Frank was
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. So Frank, he was on the keys and singing, and he was like kind of like see, it sounded like he was talking to somebody in the room, like addressing somebody in the room.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, who's he talking to? Because it was so crowded, you couldn't see everybody who was in there. And then we saw this person stand up, and like a couple of people stand up with him. And he starts walking. They start walking this person to the stage, and this person is Stevie Wonder. So I'm like, oh shit, Stevie Wonder. And I'm like, oh,
You're
this is
like, I
crazy.
better really remember this song now.
Right. I like better really remember this song. Um, yeah, like we're playing this song, we're just jamming on it. Stevie comes up and just gets on the mic and starts singing. Um, and just everybody just goes nuts. And we're just jamming out, and then he takes out the harmonica, he starts playing the harmonica with us. And it was like one of those crazy moments. It was like 3 in the morning and I'm in Indonesia in that hotel jamming with Stevie Wonder. Like,
You
like
know, just a
how did I
normal
get here?
Monday in the life of Ben Williams.
Like, how did I get here? You
Isn't
know?
that amazing? I want to come back to that. But before, I need you to tell everybody, and I love hearing it every time. Tell me about your story with Prince.
Okay. So, I got to meet Prince about, I think it must have been like 11 years ago now, actually. Um, I met him through my good friend Esperanza Spalding.
Amazing
Um,
shout out.
yeah, and yeah, so they were in, well, she was doing a thing with Stevie Wonder actually, for this benefit concert that he does every December.
Oh, it's
The
amazing.
concert. Yeah,
We
yeah,
went, Sharona and I went like 5 years ago.
yeah. The toys thing.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
House of
uh,
Toys.
House of Toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was out there doing that, and yeah, so we were like, oh, well, she was like, yo, hanging out with Prince. This was like the night before the concert. I knew they were friends. He's like a big fan of hers, and she was like, yo, I was telling him about you, and and he says he wants to hear you play. I was like, yeah, right. Like, yeah, sure. I was like, yeah, you can stop playing with me. And she's like, just come out. I was in New York. She's like, just come out for the weekend, hang. You should get to meet him. Like, she knows I'm a huge fan.
Right.
So I just hopped on a plane the next day and just went out to LA.
I love it.
Went to check out the concert. Um, and Prince was at the concert. So like yeah, so she finished playing. SB finished playing, and like she was like, "Yo, Prince is here. You want to go watch the rest of the show with him and his box?" I was like, okay, yeah, sure. um, so yeah, we watched. You know, we went up to his section, and like I got to meet him, shake his hand. It's like hello.
He's
Um,
like, hello, I'm
right.
your dad.
Exactly. So like this moment is just crazy. Like I'm watching like one of my heroes and like sitting basically next to my other one. Like imagine watching a Stevie Wonder concert sitting right next to
With
Prince. Like,
Prince.
and I was like, yo, I'm gonna have an anxiety attack or something. This is too much. So so eventually, you know, the concert is over. Prince leaves a little bit early. He goes to his place in L.A. You know, he always kept a house in L.A. And you know,
Boss moves.
he had a little get together at his house, and he invited us to come out. So we went out there, and it was just like a small group of people. And you know, we get there. Sheila E is there, hanging out. Um, so there's a few instruments set up. They have a DJ playing just for the party, and then Prince comes down and he starts like getting on the instruments, starts playing, you know, starts playing guitar, and it's like just imagine you're at a party and Prince just hops on the guitar, he's very
You're
casually.
at Prince's house. I literally could just
Yeah,
have sat in his house and be like, I know he's
yeah,
upstairs and been excited.
right. Like it's this. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then he gets on the drums, starts playing drums, like this is nuts. And he gets on the bass. He starts playing bass. I'm like, yo, my head is about to explode. And then then he looks at me like he kind of like done playing, and he's like, you know, he gives me the like nod, like you want to come play. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, and then he had, like hands me the bass, and I just start playing. He's like just standing there, just checking it out. Like I could like smell him. He was like standing there. I was like, smells really good, by the way.
I
Um,
were like, okay, were y'all like jamming along to the DJ? Or was
yeah,
it
like
like,
jamming with the DJ because he was
okay,
like kind of keeping the party going. So we were just like, um, so yeah, you know, I know you always got a lot of students watching, so there's a little lesson in there. I don't know if you
yes.
guys are paying
Tell them
attention.
the lesson, Ben, please.
Always stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Hello. And I want to say, because a lot of, and in fact, one of my students asked, do you improvise in those moments?
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean that's all you know. Sometimes you know that's what like all the practicing, that's what all the
Uh-huh.
learning and study. That's where it gets you. It gets you to where your craft is second nature. You can do it. You can make up something. You know, it's just like breathing. You know, you can learn something
Exactly.
real quick and and rock out on it. You know, sometimes it's like that. You don't always get like weeks of rehearsal to
You
prepare.
almost never get weeks of rehearsal.
Yeah,
You
yeah. So
like,
these moments,
when's the last time somebody's like, hey, Ben, in 6 months, we're going to be doing this Stevie Wonder show? It's like, yo, Ben, can you come to the theater and play with Lauryn Hill now? Which I
that
know has
literally
happened to you.
right.
I remember.
I got called the night before to play with L'Oreal. I was like sitting on my couch.
But I also want to
I had to learn
say,
the whole show, you know, in less than
but
24
that's
hours.
a testament to your, not only your talent, but also your professionalism and your work ethic, that somebody can call you and say, I know you have an hour of music that you have to play tomorrow for a superstar. Can you do this? And it's a yes.
Yeah.
It's always a yes. And they know that you're going to show up on time. You're going to have a good attitude. You're not going to be on drugs. You know, and I say this for my students watching, because you see all this like glam and you think people can just show up anyhow, anyway, and you will never get asked back again.
Um, well, I mean,
Sonia wants to know, when you played for Prince, was that the best you had ever played in your life?
I don't even remember. I don't even remember. I was just numb. I don't remember what I
I
was
feel like
doing or
moments
what the
like that is
song
like
was.
out of body, and you're like, body, please
Totally out of
just be
body.
funky and do
Right.
something.
My hands was just like it was just autopilot. I was like, okay, I can't even.
I remember, I think you called me like the next day or something
I'm sure I did.
because I was like, oh my God. Also,
Right.
everybody watching, Ben and I have this type of friendship. Hey, Maud, can I stay with you in LA? Yeah, for sure. When? Now I just landed at LAX.
Yes. Yes, I've done it
Ben
on several
has the
occasions.
keys to my apartment, y'all. And he
Yeah.
lives in New York. And
Right.
but he has the key to my apartment in LA.
Yes.
But again, this is what friendship is all about. And it's so fun to have friends like this. And you know, when I say it's so fun, I don't want that to feel like it's shallow or trite because your real friends are with you on the fun moments and the not fun moments, which
Hmm.
Hannah and I talked about last week, and you know Hannah too.
Hmm.
And I think that is the beauty. It's like you can't enjoy the sunshine without the rain. With no
Right.
pain, there's no joy.
Joy, pain,
And
it's
pain.
like sunshine and rain.
Exactly. You know, this is why our people are just so brilliant because the songs mean so much.
Yeah.
Now, I have a
It's
question for
always.
you. While we're speaking about Prince, I have a Purple Rain shirt on. I still have no idea what that song is truly about. What does that mean to you? What is Purple Rain?
um, I don't know. You know, it's I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if Prince ever really, as far as I know, like I don't think he ever really like he doesn't like explain his music like that.
Oh, definitely not. I
But
was
what
wondering
what
what
what is
your
I
interpretation.
yeah, what do I think it means?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's just like like just life. It's like a metaphor for life. Like we were just talking about rain.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at it as, you know, something to avoid, and it's gonna ruin your day. But or you could just go outside and get wet and enjoy it, you
And
know,
dance in it.
and dance in it.
Because
So that's to me that's what it is. That's what it feels like it's about.
I like finding the joy in in the darker moments almost.
Yeah, you
I
know,
because I feel like it's
you,
that,
you got
and it's that saying that that's what I want for the people, for the person or the people that I love. Because he does say, "I never wanted to cause you any pain, and just
yeah,
wants to see you living your best life, basically."
yeah, you know.
You know, like living my
So
best
I'm
life kind of thing.
yeah. I mean, I look, that song that some them songs can mean a whole lot of different things.
That's
So
very true, and
it's
they
just
can make you feel so many different kinds of things too.
yeah.
So I have a question for you, Ben. When you're creating an album, because I want to talk about your music and what you have coming out and how we can support you. When you're creating, let's say, the idea of an album, are you like,
Mhm,
I want this album to be about XYZ, or
mhm.
I want this album to make people feel XYZ? Where does that begin for you in creation of an entire project as an album?
Um, yeah. I mean, I would say some projects are more intentional in the concept than
Mm-hmm.
others. Um, like this last album, I had a very specific concept in mind.
Yeah, that
Um,
was very like
yeah, I'm
asserting your humanity as a black man. Um,
absolutely.
and what do you think? I mean, obviously, I feel like at living every day as a black man for the last 30 some years, every day you feel and we feel like we're like fighting. But was there something specific that was like a catalyst to inspire this now? Or was it just like, this is the time?
Yeah. So I was actually first. I kind of I have like this little like notepads on my phone, and I just write down ideas. Sometimes like song ideas. Um, Sometimes it might just be like like, so the musical ideas I'll put in my little voice memo thing. So, I kind of go through like almost a couple of years of like what I call like research mode. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really like actively like creating that much. I'm just kind of like just absorbing, like I just kind of put it on my mind and like almost like just let it marinate and
Let it
like just kind of
marinate.
let it marinate in the
Let it marinate a little
subconscious. You know
bit.
what I'm saying? So like, because I find that when it gets really good is when I get the ideas when I'm not really looking for them. When
Mm.
they like appear, like, and it's usually like I'm not usually like around an instrument when I get my ideas for songs. I'm usually doing something else actually. I'll be like on an airplane or in the subway or just walking down the street or in the bathroom. Like, that's when the melodies, that's when the music comes to
I
me.
love that. But I feel like
And
that means that you're just inspired by real life around you,
yeah, yeah, you
which is
just gotta
why I
open the
think
door.
your music makes people feel. Because it's not like you're like in a room, like, I'm just going to do this. You're
Yeah, no, no.
affected by.
It's not about like I mean at this point I feel like my music comes through me. It doesn't come from me. Um
Okay, okay, and deep on
so
us on a Monday, man.
Hey,
I
you know what I'm
no, but I
saying?
love that it comes through you.
Yeah.
As a dancer, as a tap dancer, I really believe in like the ancestors and like the spirits and they like it coming, through us
Hmm.
because like your music feels so layered and deep. I don't want to say deep because I don't mean like deep, like no, because even when it's
It's a lot
just
of
fun,
texture.
joyful
Yeah.
songs, you know, it's so layered and multidimensional that it's not just to like, like
Yeah.
you can feel that buildup.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I mean it kind of like just goes from like this sort of like I'm walking around with these ideas
Mm-hmm.
and you know, sometimes I'll have a little idea and I don't really get to finish it maybe a year later or 2 years later. Um, sometimes like the whole song just comes like it's just like blah, it just all just comes out. Um, but yeah, like with this project, I wanted to talk about, like you said, the black male humanity, and
Mm-hmm.
I always like to address social issues with my music, but I wanted to I didn't want this to be like a protest record. I didn't want it to feel like
Mm-hmm.
you know um, just coming from a place of like anger and frustration and like just this like really hard. I
Mm-hmm.
want it to be like kind of soften the energy and like just let people into like who we are as people, as a black man, just like what we actually, how all this stuff makes us feel, and how we just navigate through life, like dealing with what we have to deal with. So, yeah, I know I really wanted to go there with it. I want it to be about like human experience. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I just kind of, the music just sort of like it just kind of comes together. These songs come together, and then you just put it together, and then like sort of try to make it into one thing that flows.
I love that. What do you think is the most joyful song that you have composed and released?
Um, Joyful song that I've composed.
Uh,
Um,
that everybody listening right now could go find online or Bandcamp or Title, wherever's gonna give Ben the most money when you stream it.
okay, well I got to do one from the new album. There's a song called "March On."
I love March On. We still need to do a Sick Pay Ladies dance.
Yeah, I got to talk to you. The other idea, the other thing I've been working on. I got to rap to you about that.
Amazing. You know what? While we're talking, because Sick Pay Ladies is gonna do a dance to March On, friends who's watching. All my students here, Emma, Zyla, Leah, Nyla, all y'all, Jenna. I need y'all to do dances to it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, guys, because this is what it's all about. Friends don't let friends dream alone. I'm all about joy. Here's why I'm about joy.
Hmm.
I like to see all my friends winning. So Ben right now is in like the running to get nominated for a Grammy. So what we need to do is blast Ben's music all through our social networks, right, guys? And what I want everybody to do is take their talent or take whatever makes them feel joyful and use his music from his new album, March On is great for my tap dancer friends, and put it on your Instagram. Now, I don't mean the Instagram story. I mean the Instagram timeline. Put that thing right on the grid because the story goes away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're a mom listening right now and you're like, ooh, maybe I don't dance. Put on the song, wash some dishes, do whatever you got to do, and put that thing up. Because also what Ben is talking about is his music is for everybody, and everybody can find the joy. And I think now, no matter who you are, where you're from, right now we all have to remember to march on.
That's right.
You can't stay stagnant. You can't stay stuck. And this is a way that we can all just come together again, even if we're not physically together, is that we can come together through the music. We're all dancing to the same song. We're all feeling that same energy that Ben created when he created the song. So the song's called March On, y'all, Ben Williams. And I expect my students listening, I see y'all, okay? So y'all know me, y'all got a week, all right? Thank you. Love you guys.
I love it.
Mom, now, okay, my mom and my mom be feeling music. Mom, not trying to call you out, but the 2 and the 4 haven't quite found her yet. We're still on the 1 and the 3.
Okay.
Or the 1.5 and the 4 sometimes.
Okay. All right,
so, Mom, I want you to find, you know what, Mom? This is yours. Because you know what brings my mom a lot of joy? Is listening to your music, Ben, and reading. So, you could be reading a book, Mom, and listening to the song, and that's your Instagram post.
Right. Read you some Black literature. You know what I'm saying?
You know my mom is all about the Black literature.
Oh, yeah, I know.
My mom said it's the counter beat.
I like that.
Y'all, everybody listening who doesn't know me, who's watching, my mother is white. God bless. Now, let's be thankful that my rhythm came from the other counterpart. That is the counter beat, Mom, is where the rhythm came from for me and Chloe. Mom, I'm going to explain to you how to tag this. Don't ask this now.
Okay, all right. Love you, Mom. We're gonna take care of you.
I gotta say this though, when my mom came to Duke Ellington in 2000, Ben, you graduated 2002 from high school.
Yeah.
My mom came to one of the senior award shows, where y'all recitals, and my mom saw you play, and my mom was like, he's gonna be famous. She said that, she was like, that guy is special. And my mom, she saw Miles Davis play in real life. She's, saw the greats. She's from Paris, so she saw the greats,
Yeah.
And she was like, he's going to be famous. Just watch. Famous. And look, she was correct.
Oh.
See?
Moms knows. Moms always know.
Moms always know. Moms always know.
They be knowing. Mamas be knowing.
Mamas be knowing. I have another... Ben, when people come to a jazz show, when people come to your show, right? When we're back in real life, when we're there. Oh, my mom also wanted to say she saw Dizzy Gillespie before.
Dizzy Gillespie, I see. Drop the names, Mom.
She dropped the names and she said, "Yep, I called it." When people come to your show, Ben, as an audience member, what is the best way that makes you feel good performing? Because I think that there's a misconception of how we're supposed to act when we go see maybe jazz music or etc. For you, Ben Williams.
Yes.
What makes you feel good? What makes you feel happy for our audience to do?
Well, so speaking of audience, I see shout out to LaBob. She's in here. She's an amazing. She comes to every show. She's one of those
oh, I love
people
that.
who support music in New York that
hey, LaBob.
really, really it's all just you always see her, always there, and then I'll support. So
I love that.
She knows what to do. Um, I think, you know, I think it's partly the responsibility of the artist to sort of set the atmosphere. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, I try not to like expect the audience to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I try to, put it on my, because sometimes as artists we can get just like so into like, oh, I'm an artist, like, why don't you understand what I'm doing? It's so like profound and amazing. Like,
How do you not understand this?
why are you not like loving this? Um, so I mean, I like for like the music and the energy of the band to just like almost tell you what to do. Like, when we start playing and you just see us, we got our swag, everything, like just from the way we act, the way we dress,
Oh, y'all,
it's
Ben be
just
coming with the outfits, y'all.
with
And
the
Ben is real good
outfits.
for, hey, Ben, I love your pants. Were those from Tokyo? Oh,
I
where's that
mean,
from? Sweden. Oh, can't go to Forever 21. Okay.
no nigga out of there. uh, yeah, but like, so I try to express like the vibe, like so people know that they can be open, they can be themselves, they can clap, they can. It's like church, I like. I guess the best thing is like if you've never been to a black church, like coming to see our show is basically the same thing.
Yes.
You know, you respond. You shout out when it's appropriate. You
Yeah.
know, and you just like you're open to the spirit.
I love
And
that. I have
that's
to
it.
say, performing, so every Christmas time, Ben does his birthday show in DC, our hometown, at the Hamilton.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen this year.
It's not happening this year,
Darn.
but we're gonna figure out something though.
We're going to figure out something.
Yeah.
And I have the great honor to be asked by Ben. I get to be a performer as well, and it's
Yes,
so
you are a
fun.
permanent part of it.
I love it so much. It's amazing, and I've made amazing friends also, which I also want to talk about. But the audience in DC is so lit.
So lit.
It's so lit. It feels like everything you want. Like I'm like, God, I love being in DC. And like when
Hmm.
I saw you in 2006, I happened to be in Tokyo visiting Jason Holly, who also went to Duke Ellington, and Ben was performing at the Cotton Club with Jackie Terrison.
That's right.
And I went and I was like, I'm here. And he was like, oh my God, come to the show. And the audience is so quiet because culturally it's respectful. And I'm
Right.
loud, like, yes, yes, go ahead, man, DC. Ah! And it's
And I
fascinating.
loved it. And I
I,
loved it.
you know that I don't know how to not be myself. So
Exactly.
I was like, and people there were looking at me like, what is this woman doing? But also looking at me like, well, she's Black and American, so she must not be wrong because this is, her
Right.
clearly her people.
Right. Right. Right.
So it's just an interesting space to be in for you because you're going to all these Indonesia, the Middle East. And
Hmm.
so where have you found your most joyful audiences? Like what country or state?
um. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. There's like a lot of different um experiences that I've had, like playing in different countries, because everybody culturally like responds to music a little differently. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, all that being said, like actually, I mean, this may sound weird, but some of the best experience I've had are like right here in this country.
I love that. That's
Like
amazing.
in places like DC or like Detroit or Oakland. You know,
I
um,
love that. Gabrina's here, and Gabrina comes every December to your birthday show.
yeah,
Home team repping.
that's right, DC. Yeah.
But what's amazing too, as like an audience member and as a friend and a consumer of your music, having seen you play in other parts of the world and other parts of the country, what's amazing to me is that you created a life and a lane for yourself where you're able to be yourself no matter where you go. So,
Hmm.
for my young people listening here, can you speak on that? Like being true to who you are as an artist, even if maybe sometimes people don't like it, as particularly as you're growing, before you get to the Ben Williams now status, when you're younger, where do you find that courage to really stick to your own heart?
Well, I mean, I think it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when you're starting out, when you're really like just learning your craft, I think you should really just focus, not so much on individuality. You
Mm-hmm.
have to just learn how to be good. Like, there's a lot of years that all people that end up being great, they have years where they like basically just kind of copy their heroes. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I mean, and a lot of them, they even continue to copy their heroes when they were famous. Like, I mean, Michael Jackson is probably the best example. Like, uh, I mean, Michael Jackson, Prince, you can see who their influences are, and
It's amazing.
some of it like was not that subtle. Like, it's like, okay, he was definitely into Fred Astaire. You can see James Brown. Um,
Yep.
with Prince, you could see Little Richard. Um,
Yep.
so what you also have to do is like you have to know the history of what you do too, so that when you see like the artists that you love that are young and that's happening now, when you learn about the history, you can see where they got their stuff from, and then where that person got their stuff from. So it's like you know, like when you watch, when we look at Usher, like we
Uh-huh.
see Michael Jackson,
100%. When
so
we look at Miguel, you're like, oh, Prince. Like
yeah,
I
you
went
know what
to
I'm
go
saying?
see him perform, and I was like, I see what you're trying to do here, Miguel. I see it. I'm not mad at it. I see you, brother.
Right. They
With the
tapping in,
clothes.
yeah, you got to get inspired by greatness. So, you got to really study the history, study your craft, just practice, just try to get as much experience in the like doing experience doing it. Like so performing is if you want to be a performer, you just have to like perform a lot.
I
If you
love
want to
that.
be whatever you want to do, you just have to just like do it. You gotta, that like the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours. You have to put in them hours to just be great. And when you have all the tools, you just you'll start to like, okay, I think individuality comes when you start to like you listen to your heroes and then you kind of put that like, well, I would do it this way if that was me.
Uh-huh.
Like I would like this is dope, but I would do it like this. And I
Put
think
your
that's
own
what
little
that's your
spin on it.
that's where your voice starts to be where your individual like thing comes from. So it will come out. You just got to commit yourself to being great, and you're the only you. There ain't no other Maud Arnolds, ain't no other Ben Williams in this
Nope.
planet. The one thing you'll always have in your life is that you're the only you. You're the only
Like,
person that will
hello.
ever exist. So, you know, just you know, be open. Like,
I love that.
don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It will be scary, but on the other side of that fear is a greatness.
Is the world. Is
Is the world.
playing at Prince's house for him.
Yes.
A bass that he just played. I would like to say, he played the bass and handed it to Ben, y'all. Can you imagine Prince handing you anything? I'd be like,
Right.
you
I'm
know,
I'm surprised I didn't drop it.
I mean, but again, it's that 10,000 hours, it's that preparation so that you were ready so you didn't have to get ready. You
Exactly.
prepared for that moment 20 years ago without even
Yeah.
knowing it because you were dedicated.
Absolutely. And that's happened. I mean, that's kind of been the story of my life. You know, a lot of opportunities that led to, like playing with Pat Metheny. You know, the first time he heard me play, it was at a student concert at Juilliard. I didn't even know he was there, but he was there checking me out by recommendation of Christian McBride. And that was his first impression of me. And like, I always have this thing, it doesn't matter where I play, we get this from DC, like you go in every time,
Every time.
every single time. It doesn't matter if you're playing for 3 people or
Every time.
3,000 people.
And I
You
have to
put
say that.
110.
Like, I appreciate that. So everybody, Ben Williams has always, anytime he's not on tour being famous, he has come to perform and or teach at the DC Tap Festival. He has never accepted a dime from the Chloe and Maud Foundation. In fact, he donates to the Chloe and Maud Foundation, and he donates his time and his talent. And when he comes and plays at DC Tap Fest, he's not like, oh, I'm not getting paid anything, like whatever, it's my friend, do. It's the same as if he were playing for Prince or Stevie Wonder or Pat Metheny or whoever. And I think that's what greatness is. It's the greatness across the board. It's not the, oh, I'll slack here because it only doesn't pay me enough money. Because what if you're there playing at DC Tap Fest and then Denzel Washington sees you and it's like, I want him to score my next movie. You never
Right.
know.
These things happen, and like I can tell you, this is how it happens. It's usually when there's somebody watching you, you don't realize that they're watching you. So
And that's what I try to implore to everybody, particularly my students, but honestly anybody these days, like about Instagram and stuff. It's like, it doesn't matter if something doesn't have 1,000 likes. How did it make you feel? Did you present your best? Because if it has 1 like and you made that person feel joy, or you made that person's day better, and you express yourself to your best, that's all that matters. And then it comes like, people think like, oh, Sick Pay Ladies, you guys are viral all the time. Our group started in 2003.
I remember.
Our first viral video was in 2014. But you've been there since the beginning.
Yeah.
We've been just growing, but every step was 100. And so I have to say, for me, it's an honor to be your friend. Also, guys, Ben has introduced me to so many amazing people who I now get to call friends, like Christian Scott and Justin Brown and Maurice and Chelsea, and your family is my family. And I think that's
it's all
just what
family.
it's all about.
Family.
It's family. At the end of the day, it's family. So Ben, I always end with a couple quick questions. Okay? So, what is the city that brings you most joy?
Washington, D.C.
Hey, what is the country that brings you most joy?
South Africa.
Ooh, yes, okay. What is the food that brings you most joy?
Sushi.
Who is the person that brings you most joy?
Oh,
It's
my
hard.
mother.
I knew you were gonna. I was like, if you don't say Mama Benny, hold up. And is there a quote or a mantra that you would like to share with all of us to just keep us moving forward and keep us going and keep us marching on?
Okay. Well, since I know you always got students watching, so this is the one that I think you remember me saying once.
This is my favorite one.
Yes. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is putting in extra. So you want to be extraordinary, you got to put in that extra.
Ben, can you please put that on a t-shirt?
I know, right? You put that on a t-shirt.
I think, Ben, we need to continue this conversation offline, because let me tell you, I want the t-shirt. I say that all the time. I'm sure my students have heard me say, my friend, Ben Williams says, to be extraordinary takes extra. Do the extra work. Put in that extra time. I think we need a shirt. I think we need a shirt.
Let's do it.
I need the shirt, and then I'm just going to buy it and be a consumer and promote, because that's what I like to do for, you know what I mean? But I think I think you need that as a shirt, Ben, because I've never heard anybody else say that except for you.
Well,
So
let's
I
go
think
ahead
you
and put it
quote
on a
yourself.
t-shirt.
Quote yourself and put it on a t-shirt.
All right.
Because
Bet.
everybody that knows
That's a
you
great
knows that
idea.
you put in that extra work.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. See, that's how, everybody watching, this is how this is how our conversations go all the time. There's always there's an idea that we don't just talk. We be
We have to
talking like
execute.
we be building. We be helping each other build. So.
Leah said she wants to pre-order one, Mr. Ben. And I just
Word,
have to say,
we got one pre-order already.
we have one pre-order. And you know my mom will buy one. And Zyla wants
Yep.
one, and Sonia. That's Zyla and
All
Sonia's
right.
mom. And I just
Okay.
want to say, one of the most joyful things about our friendship that has been now for 20 years, Lord of mercy, is everybody, Ben and I always commit to brunch. Now, the brunch can be in DC, Paris, New York, LA, Minnesota, Texas, Miami,
Yeah.
Tokyo. Wherever it is, no matter what, we can have not seen each other for a whole 10 months, a whole year. We go to brunch, we catch up, and we love on each other. And that I am so thankful for. Uh-oh, I think it froze.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I think it froze, Ben. I don't know. Jenna, Ben, we've already sold like 4 shirts. So we got to get this going.
Yes. We got to get these t-shirts printed. Let's get it. Let's go.
I love it. Thank you so much, Ben, for joining the MAUDCAST. Everybody,
thank you, Maud.
buy Ben's music. Post about Ben's music. March On is the song that we are going to be highlighting at this moment, but any song. No, Miss Cheryl, we've been friends for 20 years.
20.
We both look 20 years old. Hello, but we've been friends for 20 years.
Right.
Exactly. Hello. Moisturize.
Right.
But thank you so much, Ben. I love you, and I miss you in
too.
real life.
I know.
Big hugs.
Hope
Come
to see you
stay.
soon.
Come to LA.
Yes, I'm gonna be out there definitely before the end of the year. So.
Okay, good. Come, please. And I love you very much, and I'm so thankful for you.
Thank you. I'm thankful for you. So good to see you and talk to you.
And when I sell my first TV show, Ben is going to be my composer. And then that, guys, is how I will pay him for all of the ridiculousness I put him through for the last 20 years.
It's not ridiculousness.
Thank you so much, Ben. I love you. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful week, and don't forget to modify your day. Bye.
Modify your day. Hey.
Hey.
All right, y'all.
Bye.